On June 26, more voters will get the chance to vote on a general obligation bond that would address some of the city's more pressing problems, including the long-desired 4th Street Railroad underpass. Moore City Manager Brooks Mitchell says approval of the 5 propositions on the ballot are critical if the city is going to keep up with population growth.
The city continues to grow, and we have traffic issues that we didn't have a number of years ago. And 4th Street, as you know, is also Highway 37, and it creates a problem for our citizens when the railroads stop on 4th Street and don't move for a while. It backs up traffic there, and then it overloads traffic on other streets. So we think this will help as far as emergency vehicles and just daily traffic flow.
Proposition 1 includes the 4th Street underpass along with 4 other road projects: resurfacing, landscaping, and adding sidewalks with a bike path on Northeast 12th Street between I-35 and Eastern; resurfacing, landscaping, and adding sidewalks on Eastern Avenue between Northeast 12th and Southeast 4th; resurfacing, landscaping, and adding sidewalks on Eastern Avenue between Southeast 4th and Southeast 19th; and adding 2 additional traffic lanes to Southwest 34th between Telephone Road and Santa Fe, along with resurfacing, adding sidewalks, and landscaping. The 4th Street Railroad underpass is the biggest item on the ballot. Nearly $28 million will go to that project, with an additional $15 million allocated for the other street projects and infrastructure repairs.
We do get numerous calls at City Hall complaining about the railroad and the fact that the trains on 4th Street do tend to just kind of camp out.
Mitchell says that with no federal funds available for the project, city leaders decided it was time to present their own plan to voters.
It's up to us to really make the capital improvement to get that done. And we've gotten enough requests and enough complaints to where it was time to put it in front of the voters and just see what they want to do.
Voters will also get a chance to decide on 4 other propositions. Proposition 2 calls for improvements on the 50-year-old drainage channel that runs from Northeast 12th down to 4th Street, preventing further erosion, property damage, and addressing future flooding concerns. Cost for this work would be just over $3 million. Proposition 3 would create quiet zones prohibiting train horns from sounding at 3 railroad crossings and more: Southeast 34th, Main Street, and 12th Street. The city would spend $1.5 million to upgrade safety measures at those crossings, including new medians like these that make the crossings safe enough to meet U.S. Department of Transportation standards.
That and some other underground equipment to control the gates and things like that. I mean, the problem is people still try and run the gates, and so we have to add things into the street which will keep them in their lane and make it much more difficult for them to try and run the gate.
Proposition 4 would allocate $600,000 for the purchase of 2 new street sweepers. Currently, the City of Moore has just 1 aging sweeper that can barely keep up with the 60 miles of main roadways in Moore, not to mention the need to clean collector streets.
You'd be amazed at the debris just the wintertime brings with the salt and sand that we have to put on the streets. And this year was a mild winter, but we still had to do it a few times. And it helps clean things up and keep the debris out of the storm drains, which creates other problems for us.
Proposition 5 would overhaul City Hall's outdated phone system, which is notorious for dropping calls. $300,000 would allow for replacement of the old system, reducing the frequency of call failure and preventing future service interruptions. The 5 propositions total approximately $48.6 million. Voters can choose to support any of the propositions separately or all of them. Mitchell says the city intends to issue the bonds over a period of several years to minimize the impact on homeowners in Moore.
Because of the way we're going to implement these bonds and issue them, we're going to keep the property tax increase as low as we possibly can. Right now our millage rate is 15.5, and so the way we will incrementally issue these bonds, we won't go above 16.5, which for a $100,000 home, that means an $8 a month increase in your property taxes.
There will be 3 informational meetings about the GO bond in June: 7 p.m. at the station on June 7th, 7 p.m. at Oak Ridge Elementary on June 14th, and 7 p.m. at Winding Creek Elementary on June 21st. You can also email your questions or comments to 2018bondelection@cityofmoore.com or call 793-5300.